Good morning, everybody. Morning from as always, live from Zurich. Hopefully you can hear us. I think actually, as already Misha has said, he can hear us already. Let us know in the comments in the chat. Let us know where you're listening in from. But a warm welcome from finally sunny Zurich, sunny Switzerland. Welcome to my guest today. And I'm going to try and pronounce the name correctly. We were practicing just before. Mirko Tagliabue. Is it good?
Exactly, Lee. Thank you so much for having me.
No problems. Welcome. And thanks so much for everyone who's joining. We give people a moment to come on in. Good morning, Misha. Good morning, Malik. Fantastic to have you all here. My name is Lee Diamond, as hopefully most of you know, or some of you know. I am the owner of We Recruit, and we are the recruitment specialists for the Swiss market, helping recruitment agencies and companies directly find the best recruitment, talent acquisition, and HR talent. As always, my goal is to be a positive promoter of recruiters and recruitment in general, and really try to bring the Swiss community together. And that's a big part of doing these live sessions. And here we are today with the next episode of the Swiss Recruitment Journeys. And I really love these sessions because it's an opportunity where I get to interview inspirational people in recruitment. We get to learn what it takes to start your own business, learn about the journeys that people have been through, and to see the ups and downs and all the good stuff in between. And of course, today is no exception. So my guest, Mirko, is the owner of MT Partners, has more than a decade of experience, worked in executive search, in-house, and is passionate about recruitment, automation, and sports, and many other things, music, as we were just talking about. But let me hand the word over to you, Mirko. Introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about you.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for having me. Great pleasure, and thank you for organizing this series, which I think is very cool, and it's very helpful, to listen to other business owners and their journeys is always motivating, Yeah, very quick introduction. Maybe we focus a bit more on the personal side, then we can talk a bit more on the business side throughout this live. Well, I was born and raised in Ticino, in the south of Ticino. I'm originally from Coldreri, which is close to Mendrisio. Studied in the UK. I did a bachelor at Oxford Brookes in business management, and then moved into HR and then executive search, as you mentioned. Then we can dig deeper on that side. But yeah, on the personal side, I love to do a lot of sports. Now a bit less because I have a bit less time. But I've climbed 4,000 meters peaks. I've done ultramarathons. Longest one 65 kilometers with 4,000 elevation gain. I have done ice climbing, a lot of ski mountaineering. I have done the Patrouille de Glacier. I've done the Mezzalama, which are very long races, like 12, 14 hours races in the mountains. I've done weeks in the mountains with the skis. And now, since I have a little less time to go to the mountains, I'm more focused on, running on paths. I just ran a half marathon in 1:25, the Zurich half marathon. And I do a lot of cycling as well, road cycling. And I think that really helps with, keeping your mind focused on the business, right? I think sport is very, very important to get your mind relaxed and to refocus and recalibrate. Go out, go hard, and then go back to the office, right? So that's a bit my idea. And I think sports also builds up really the resilience that we need as business owners and as recruiters as well. Especially because we have always up and downs, right? As we deal with people, they can change mind. We don't deal with, machines that they cannot change their mind so far. But yes, anyway, that's a quick overview of myself. I'm based in Zurich. Yes, that's all on the personal side, let's say.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks a lot for the introduction. I think it sounds like you're an extreme sports person. And I agree. I think, balancing the pressure of kind of recruitment, of managing a business, of working in this high-paced industry, I think sports is a great outlet to kind of help kind of deal with, let's say, the stress. And I think it gives you a lot of energy as well. And I don't know, I always liked people that are involved in sports and compete and do things at high levels, I think there's a lot of positives that you can take out from that in regards to, as you say, kind of mental strength, in regards to, there's a lot of things that sports teach us, right? The consistency, the persistence, the repetition, a lot of things that we need in business as well. So I even saw there was something, I think, what was it, vegan, I saw it on your profile, a vegan running group or something, I think you were part of as well. The first one?
I'm vegan. I've been vegan for, I don't know, 11 or 12 years, right? I was one of the early adopters. Let's say you could not walk in Co-op and get, a fake burger, or a vegan burger, right? But yes, other than that, yes, I was part of that. But I also think, really, especially throughout this, long days in the mountains, when it's freezing or it's hot, and you have to keep going, and that's, then we'll dive more into my story. But often you get slapped left and right, weeks and months, and then you just have to keep going, right? And I think that sport that I have done in the past and I'm still doing, maybe going to a track now and run 12 times 400 meters at 1 minute 10, 1 minute 20, right? It's just boring and it kills you and you want to die, right? You have to get it done, right? So that helps. But also on top of that, many years ago, I sat down with a friend and, just looking at, what do successful people do, and I realized the routines are very important, right? And that's also key for me. I have a morning routine of around an hour and 15 minutes where I do my meditation, I do my smoothies, I do my journal, I do my quick stretching session, a little workout, and I put my cream face, I get ready for the day, right? Especially because I work from home mostly, right? So you have to be able to build up the routine and disconnect from getting up to moving to another room and working from the same room, and that I've been doing that since, I don't know, 2016, right? And I think that is also very important for me, that the routine in the morning, it's key. Especially I think meditation has been a great support in being present in that at that moment, because as business owners, as human beings, we always think about the future, the past, and I feel like we're never really present in that precise moment, that we live that, enjoy that moment. So that's my little secret.
Sounds good. Well, I've made some notes, and I think meditation is something that's it's always somehow fascinated me, and as somebody who I'm trying to think the word, Philip, I'm a fidget. I can't sit still for a moment. My thoughts are always here, there, and everywhere. I think it's something I would massively benefit from, but I think it also takes a lot of training to be able to calm your mind and actually to do that. And I tried it once or twice. I need to try it again, but I always felt like my resilience to switch my mind to other thoughts, it would maybe take me 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then my mind's already thinking about something else, as opposed to, as you say, being in that moment.
But I've always done it. I've always been using Headspace. It's an app, right? And it's all guided meditation. So you start, every 20 seconds you have someone telling you what to do, and you have to imagine your thoughts being like clouds in a blue sky passing through, and then you get further on, and now I can meditate without the need of an app, right? But I think apps definitely helps.
I can see as well. Misha just said same here, Lee. So he obviously
exactly.
he can relate to my pain. And good morning to the people that I didn't see and mention. Good morning, Manuel, Mesun, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Sophia as well. But it comes up like this because of, I think, maybe your privacy settings. Awesome. So welcome everybody. Let's jump into the questions. Let's go a bit more into learning about Mirko and what it takes, what some of the ups and downs have been on the journey. A question I always love to ask and to start off with, because I don't think I've not yet met any leader in recruitment who said to me, when I was young, I wanted to be a recruiter. So it's always interesting for me to learn what do people want to do before that. Yeah, where did you start?
Yes, well, to start your question, when I was very young, I wanted to be a road builder, right? So that was my dream. I wanted to be on an excavator building roads, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, the whole shaped my whole journey, but it's quite interesting. So I did an apprenticeship because I didn't want to go to high school. I was not the guy that loved to study. Still, I'm not. And I did an apprenticeship as a logger, right? So as a Holzfäller, right? So I used to cut down trees in Ticino, right? So there I did 3 years, every day in the forest, working with helicopters, tractors, etc., etc. And then the idea was really to go to Zollikofen and do an forestry engineering school and become a forestry engineer, right? Anyway, I had to do my matura after the apprenticeship. I did the matura, and throughout the matura, I really, really liked the business side of it. We were doing economics, macroeconomics, right? And some, business management, business administration there too. And then I signed up to a new course at the University of Lugano, but that course was going to start 1 year after the end of my matura. So it took 6 months. I was at home. I did some investments. It was in 2008, throughout the financial crisis. Did some little investment. I enjoyed, buying and selling some stocks. And then my mom was like, maybe you should go to and learn some English, right? So I ended up going to Oxford, and then I loved it there. I was there for 7 months to learn English. I didn't speak any English when I went there, and then I just loved it. I come from a 4,000 people town in the middle of, Ticino. It's a very rural sort of town, right? And I was there. I was like, oh my god, this life is amazing. So many people, international and everything, right? So anyway, long story short, I applied to the university. I had to Oxford Brookes, and I got accepted, and then I ended up studying there. So it totally changed. I still love nature. I thought a few times to go back and do what I used to do, or maybe do the forestry engineering school, but that was when I was employed by someone else, and I wasn't happy. Now I'm very happy, and I know what I want to do and where I want to go. So it's good. But that was a long answer to a pretty straightforward question.
Yeah, no problems. But then,
I didn't want to be a recruiter for sure.
It's for sure. Okay, so then tell us how you got in recruitment. How did you start, and talk us a little bit through your journey?
Yes, sure. So between my second and third year of uni, during summer break, I managed to get on the Christmas break, I did a short internship at Zegna, Hermenegildo Zegna, the Italian suit maker. They still have a big office in Ticino, where I'm from, and I was working with the head of HR Europe on quite a few cool projects. It was a pretty short work there. Then I went back to the second semester of second year of uni, and she contacted me before I was done with the second year, and she was like, "Why don't you come for summer and work with us for 3 months?" That person just moved into the HRVP role for Europe at Guess, the American fashion company. So I came back, and between second and third year, I did a 3 months internship in this super cool. That was the right arm of the VP HR Europe. So very, very cool role, very strategic. I was really supporting on super cool projects, right? And again, typical company where HR was seen as a cost. People were not seen as important as they should be seen. The usual issue that we see. But we built up an amazing business case that was presented to the owners and to the CEO, and really got to really grow this HR department from us to 14 people, right? Anyway, long story short, after this internship, went back to uni, and by the end of the internship, they offered me a contract. So by the time I was done my bachelor, I came back and I started working with them. Then they had to go through some cost cutting in 2013. So I was the last one to join. I was let go. So that was the first time in my career that I was let go. And then after that, I worked for the family business. We had a mechanical engineering company in Ticino. We had around 50 people, and I was helping my stepdad, who was the owner, doing all the HR, admin HR part, very blue collar focused. We sold the business after a year, and then I was looking for a job, right? So I came across Global Petro Project Services, which is a branch of Eni Petroli, so Agip, the Italian oil and gas company. And that was sort of a recruitment role, HR operational recruitment. So I was responsible for the Nigerian projects that they had. So around 4,000 international resources there, onshore and offshore, whatever, drilling platforms, whatever. So I was responsible for recruiting these people, but also, to move them around. And, quick side note, I never wanted to be a recruiter, because after I was let go from Guess, I was like, maybe I should move back to London and, work in HR. But, I got contacted by a lot of recruiters wanting me to do recruitment. And I was like, I don't like this, I don't like these guys, they're salesy. I was like, I'll never be a recruiter, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, go back to the oil and gas. Going back to the oil and gas, then I enjoyed that work, that job, but once the main base got attacked by these guerrilla and terrorists, whatever you want to call them, and they killed 4 or 5 of the people that I was working with, that I actually recruited. Then I met my counterpart there, and she showed me some pictures of how the mangrove forest is damaged, etc. So I was like, look, it doesn't fit with my values. So after a year, I left. Well, I then joined Egon Zehnder, right? So I moved to Egon Zehnder, so executive search. Had no idea who they were. I was like, yeah, they look cool. I mean, they're all nicely dressed. They have amazing offices, and they sound all super educated and super smart. So I was like, let's do it, right? So I joined.
Where were you based there, actually? Just jumping, where were you based? Egon Zehnder? In Zurich. Okay, yeah.
In Zurich. So I was in the main office. Now they moved, but they used to be up on the Zürichberg. And they used to be in the house of Egon Zehnder that donated the house. Well, that's where he used to live, and that's where he started the business. Then the house was donated to them. Now it's been given back to he passed away, but was given to the sons. So yes, Egon Zehnder, great experience. I think one of the most important experience in my career. I was working one of the senior partners, Philip, in the industrial practice. We were doing a lot of big mandates. Egon Zehnder, we were doing only C-level for companies that had at least 1 billion in revenues. So we did very, very cool stuff. I was also working with one of the new consultants that came in that recently became partner, Edward Knesevich. Very smart people. All of them have MBAs. Some of them have PhD from ETH. And have 20, 25 years experience in the industry, and then moved into these roles. I really felt like I was working for the FBI, because, well, for Secret Service, because you really knew. I mean, you were sitting down with some of the decision maker of the Swiss, global, some of the biggest global conglomerate, right? Going for dinner with these guys, you were hearing stories, you were meeting these people. It just, it was an incredible experience. After three and a half years, we got to a point where in Egon Zehnder, I came in as a project manager, researcher. So I was really assisting, the senior partners on, projects, doing sourcing. We had a sourcing team that I helped building up in Poland, but we were doing a lot of sourcing ourselves. For smaller roles, like smaller companies, sometimes they would go below 1 billion. I would do the interviews with the CEOs, the potential CEOs there, then present that shortlist to the partners, right? But the problem is that as a researcher, as I was, you could never become a consultant, right?
Yeah.
Because, as I said, you have to go out, MBAs, PhD, whatever, along
the business model of executive search and how it is in many companies. Yeah.
Exactly, right. So I was like, okay, cool. What's next? I was not motivated there anymore. We came to the agreement that it did not make sense to stay there anymore, right? So what happened there that I don't share that very often, but happy to share that I went back and worked for that VP of HR, who at the time had opened her own company, which is in Ticino, which was called UB International. UB International was specialized in recruitment in fashion, simply because obviously this lady had 20 plus years experience in fashion, and had very good connection. There I worked with her for 2 years, and I was on a commission base, so I did not have a base salary.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she, we had a few discussions since I was working for her as a freelancer with an Einzel firma, right? In the end, when I had to do my taxation, they were like, well, actually, she's your employer, etc., etc. So long story short, from a day to another, she blocked my email. She wrote to all my clients saying that, I'm out and, to not work with me, all the clients that I brought in.
Wow.
So it was tough. That was a day. It was in 2018, in September, the end of August 2018. So I was like, shit, sorry. But, I was like,
yeah, I would be the same. Probably a few more words as well.
Right. Yeah, right. So I was like, what do I do? And I always say, there is a part of my brain that works a bit by itself, right? And most of the time, 99% of the times, that's what it's meant to be doing. Anyway, long story short, within the weekend with my sister, she has a brand agency in Berlin. We came up with a company name. We bought a domain, built up the whole company. On Monday, I was setting up a game bear, and fast forward to now, all of a sudden I had a company, my recruitment company, myself, right?
Yeah.
So if we go to the next question,
I just thought I'd put it in so because it I don't need to ask the question because we naturally moved into that. But,
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The circumstances put you there, right? So.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's again, that's how I've seen a bit in my life, business life, very often, you're just kicked in, you're kicked or slapped in the face, and then you're there, and I had no other option. I mean, yes, I had other option. I could be on the RAV, I could be on unemployment, I could find another job.
Did you think about joining another recruitment company and having a salary and going to another organization at all?
To be honest, no, because I don't know why all of a sudden just happened so fast, out of where. She blocked me everything. I was just like, I need to go out by myself. I don't know why I did that. Thinking about it now, I'm like, why did I do that?
But you were obviously successful if you were on commission only, you were obviously successful making money, and you have a choice. Do you go to work for someone else, or do you take that hard work effort, the business you've built up, and there's probably also a emotional element of it to say, right, well, I'm going to do this myself. If that's how you treat me, I'm going to, I'm going to do this.
Exactly. I think that's also a bit of also ego, let's say, right? Anyway, long story short, I ended up opening my business then the company was founded in end of September 2018, Empty Partners Game Bear. And then, 2018, it was a short year. And, then we started from there. But again, I did not, I always say this, I did not have experience in recruitment, right? I'd never been working for a real recruitment agency. I did executive search, but that's, for me, it's totally different, right?
Yeah.
So, especially in Egon Zehnder, right? That's how it happened, Then 2019, I was doing everything. 2019, I was really, really doing everything in the business. Any type of roles, anything. I reactivated the clients that I used to work with. And of course, they were with me. They're going to stay with me, right? Reactivated them, etc. So 2019 was a pretty good year. I was also pretty lucky. I think we have to say that there is a big component in our job that is also luck. I think that has to be said.
You create your own luck, but yeah, I mean, we
Exactly.
all need it. As you said at the beginning, we're dealing with people. Our product in that sense changes its mind, and things happen, and there's other influences. You have partners, families. There's a lot of different things that go into it, so it becomes very very complex.
Exactly.
So you do need a little bit of luck. Yeah.
Exactly, but I ended up working with reaching out to some live jobs, whatever, open roles, and ended up connecting with this lady who was the HR director of Juul, the e-cigarette. I don't know if you remember the e-cigarettes, JUUL, that really blew up. They were preparing an IPO, like they were massive. So I did a lot of recruitment. They were opening up Europe, So I did a lot of recruitment from them. Anyway, long story short, that was a good year. 2020, I had no strategy, I had no niche, I had nothing. 2020, COVID came, and literally I made zero revenues. 2020 was tough, and that's when I tell you, like that,
right
I look exactly. So I was like, what do I do now? And I just got through the year. I had some savings, etc., etc. But I remember really at the end of 2020, I was on YouTube watching some recruitment videos, and a banner popped up, and it was this guy saying, grow your business to a 7-figure in 3 years, all that kind of bits, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I was like, let's talk to this guy. He's a British guy. He's called James Blackwell, right? So yes, I got on a call with him, and he was like, look, blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh, amazing. I mean, this guy, is built up with strong agency, etc., etc. So literally, with the last money that I had in the bank accounts, 4,500 francs, I decided not to pay myself a salary, and I paid this guy, right? So we did quite a few sessions together. It was a group of 10 recruiters. And from there, really, I redesigned 2021. I redesigned the whole strategy of the business. I focus on niches. So we do sales, marketing, and digitalization. That's our core business.
Yeah, your niche.
Exactly. And now we've added, since we do quite a few roles, we also added a bit more executive search. But we do anyway from manager up to director level for sales, marketing, and digitalization roles. And I picked a niche. I started working more on automation. I started working on building remote teams that had people in the Philippines, etc., etc. So really, that helped me build up the business to where we are at the moment. So that helped me. Obviously, had to be tweaked to the Swiss market, but that was really the start, 2021.
But let me ask you a question then, because knowing what you know now, and having built up your experience, having these trainings, going through different recruitments, things like that, obviously you are now much more of an expert in recruitment than when you started, let's say 2020. Do you feel that if you would rewind with your knowledge now, start again in 2020, do you feel that you would have been able to make a much different result?
Good question. I never thought about it. I don't know. Maybe if in 2019 I had the strategy that I have that I built up in 2021. Maybe in 2020 I would have not struggled so much, because I would have had clients, I would have had a niche, I would have had a better structure, business development structure, a strategy, So probably yes. Thinking back, if I'd known these things before, yes. But again, this all boils down to the fact that I never really had any real recruitment, agency experience, So yeah, probably would have helped, But again, it's always, I always say it's always learnings, right? So whatever happens, bad or good, it's always learnings, and we should always take a learning out of it. So it's good learning.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, because I think a lot of people don't like to talk about. I don't want to say it's not a failure, but let's say tough times, or talking about, hey, that was actually a really bad year. We didn't do well. I didn't do well, and I think it's important to highlight it's not all easy running your own recruitment business. We had a tough year in the COVID year as well. Katarina, my partner, who she joined November 2019. Had an amazing start in Q1 2020, and then all of us, and she's focusing on the talent acquisition side, internal recruitment. All of a sudden, COVID hit. Nobody needs internal recruitment. No one was recruiting, and we had an extremely challenging year. We had to pivot. We had to change some things. Obviously, I had there the background of 12, 13 years in recruitment to be able to help, and of course the network. But I think for some people it was a good year, but for most people it was a very, very tough and challenging year. I think we all learned something about the market, about our business, and about ourselves during that time, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of sharing failures, because I think it's important, and people obviously you don't want to talk about them, right? But I think it's important to share that.
Absolutely. And we've got a few extra things. So Misha said, talking about the luck comment, your efforts generate the luck needed to be successful. I think, as I say, you create
Very good point.
your own luck. Hi to Brian and Vincent, and Evelyn also said, congrats on your resilience and not giving up during the pandemic, because of course that could also be something you say, well, I need to get a job. I'm not bringing in money.
Yes.
I need to do something about it. So, and it's brave to take your last money and kind of then invest into that training. I think a lot of people that set up a recruitment company, and it does happen, it rarely happens, I know someone else from the Swiss recruitment startups as well, who had no experience in recruitment, came from the business and said, hey, I can do this better than the recruiters I'm working with. I'm starting my own business. And I think it's really brave. There's also a huge amount to learn. I mean, I'm sure you'll say now, after several years of running your own business, there's no recruitment is the same. There's so much complexity to it. Recruitment itself is not hard in that sense, or it's not hard to learn, but to be able to do all of to put all of the puzzle pieces together to understand the different moments and things that can go wrong in a process, and how to manage everything, expectations, to steer it's extremely challenging and complex.
Exactly, 100%. And it's we are recruiters and we work on so many different roles, but if you think about it, we really are 360 degrees. We have to do operation, we have to do admin, we have to do business development, we have to do account management, we have to do interviews, we have to talk to candidates, we have to grow the talent pipelines. It's just, I think, goes
social
on, right?
media, marketing. We're also psychologists in the meantime, career advisors. Pretty much everything, as well as having a personal life, doing sports and trying to find a balance. So,
exactly. And plus, you're running your own business on top of that. It's a lot of things. You're not specialized. It's a great job in the end of the day, Alex. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of stuff at once.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What has surprised you the most since starting your business?
Well, I probably surprised myself, because I now I'm growing, I've done a lot of, I've had different coaches, I've worked with therapists as well, I've grown myself a lot, I always feel the need, or I always feel in sport as well, I always had coaches, right? I always feel the need that when you're at the top, in a sense that you're running your own business and you don't have a business partner, because I don't have a business partner, right? So I feel like I need, at least myself, or it's always helpful to have, a mentor, a sparring partner. My best friend has also been my mentor. He helped me a lot. He has a multi-family office in Monaco and Chino. He's called Gabriele. So probably what has surprised me the most since I started my business is really the resilience. I think it's the resilience that I've been able to have, like if I think back now, I'm in a good place. I actually met Gabriele yesterday. We're having a beer, we're just discussing, going through a bit, what happened in the past, and I was like, like I would not do it again, like crazy. But starting already from going to a new country like the UK, when I was not speaking any of the language, starting university there, and then starting a business myself, I would never do it again, thinking back. It's scary, right? And so if I have to say what has surprised me the most is, my resilience and, in the end, becoming successful, because I always doubted myself, right? So that's one thing that I have, that I've improved over the years, right? But I doubted myself, and I never saw myself as an entrepreneur, where I am an entrepreneur now. I have a company that is running very well. So yeah, that's surprised me, right? That's probably what and I learned a lot about myself, and it's been a great journey.
Well, I think you can be very proud of yourself, and maybe you don't give yourself enough credit as perhaps you should, but I think
definitely not.
I can relate to that, and I think a lot of us maybe don't take enough of a time or moments just to say, hey, give yourself a bit of a pat on the back and say, hey, well done. Look at what you've achieved. Anyone that started a recruitment business in the last few years had to survive a pandemic, had to, go through a lot of challenges as well. So yeah, we also need to take those moments to celebrate and share the stories and share the success as well.
Exactly.
I want to bring in this question actually because I think it fits very nicely into this moment. You were talking about, you know, the being brave and moving to England and things like that. You know, if you could give advice to your younger self, knowing what you know now, what would it be and why?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, probably, I, I would have said, I would have told myself, and I have one guy that, he's 25 and he asked me, can you be my mentor, and I'm telling him, if I were at 25, I would have gone out way less, I love to, we were talking about it before. I love techno, and, Zurich, it's easy to go. It's a great techno scene, right? But, it's early mornings, so, late nights, right? So and then you're not functioning at 100%, right? Of course, that, I build up network from that, of course, but if I could give, an advice to myself, maybe, be a bit more focused on if I had been more focused on my career when I was younger, also university, I did study, but not amazing grades. I was just enjoying the life, right? The student life, right? So if I could give an advice to myself, I would really be, maybe if you had started before, you would be already in a different place, and that's what I'm giving advice to this guy. Just start now. Focus now on do you really want to build up something? Then focus on it now. Don't wait, and then enjoy life later on. So probably I should have been a bit more focused. But again, it goes back to me being very, very hard on myself, right? But yes, probably that's probably what I would have changed. The advice that I would give to my younger self, right? What I would have given to my younger self.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good advice, but I think it would be hard for any 20-something to take and to say, what, less party, less enjoyment, enjoy it when you're older. Yeah. But I get it. I understand. So is there maybe, I guess we've gone through a little bit, but perhaps a defining moment then, talking, again, coming from this question, saying you maybe focus more, or, was there a defining moment in your life or career that really had an impact in your path? I mean, we spoke about obviously when you left, or when the situation finished with your first kind of commission only job. I mean, that was obviously a big defining moment. Would that be it? Is there something else that sticks out to you and say, hey, this really changed the course of my life?
Well, if you look back at Egon Zehnder, I recently met with Edward, my mentor, and when I left Egon Zehnder, I was like, what a waste of almost 4 years there, just a waste, I was just like, I didn't learn anything. And then I'm here running my business and I see how much I actually learn and how much my building has been built around Egon Zehnder, the quality and the level and the branding, the service that we offer and everything, So that's, working at Egon Zehnder has definitely been, a massive defining moment in my career. Being, from a day to another, let in the middle of the street, as we say in Italian, right? That, by the previous person, business partner, so that was definitely a defining moment in my career, Then also in 2021, my relationship with my ex-girlfriend, finished after 10 years, right? So that was in life, that was a big, coming out from 2020, very difficult thing to build your own business and then ending a relationship after 10 years, right? That's another, defining moment that's in my career, and that's where I really started growing as a person, myself, and as my business also started growing with that, I started growing as a business person. So these are probably, the parts that really defined a bit my life, private and the career for sure. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Hey, thanks a lot for sharing. We've had a question, obviously it's a live session as well. We can invite questions about your journey. I think there was a couple of questions before from Brian asked. So just to say, if people have questions to Mirko about his journey, of course, please feel free to ask, but specific to this. And we've had one from Sophia. As I say, her obviously privacy settings like that, so we only see it as a LinkedIn user. But I know, so thank you, Sophia, for the question. you can see that. What from your past are you most thankful for that brought you to who you are now?
Yes, good question. I think, what am I most thankful? Probably, I would have to say that, my friend Gabriele, he's helped me a lot in to get where I am at the moment. He's 10 years older. He's gone through what I've done. When I turned 30, he gifted me a 10 session with a business coach. So I think, if I have to be thankful to someone, especially, it would be definitely my best friend Gabriele, who's really been my mentor and has helped me to go through what he has gone through himself, right? That's definitely one thing. And then, of course, I think my friends, and especially in the difficult moments, I have very good group of friends here in Zurich. Most of them entrepreneurs as well. So that helped, for sure. Those are probably these two, the group of friends and my best friend really helped me. I'm extremely thankful to them, for sure. Yes.
It sounds like it. I can feel it. Feel the emotion in there as well, and I think it's so important to have people around you that can help you and support you. I mean, that's why we set up the Swiss recruitment startups in the beginning with that concept as well in mind. So, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
So thanks, Sophia, for the question.
Thank you.
We've talked a lot about automation. Me outside of the, obviously not in this conversation now or this live session, but you're very passionate about automation, and within recruitment, I think there's a huge amount to do, and so many people are doing zero to very, very little in regards to automation. What would be your 3 top tips to anyone in recruitment?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan, obviously, as my team knows as well. But yes, so this whole automation came from, again, this James Blackwell that I had with last morning work account, right? So it was really a good point from him. Again, we go back to doing so many different tasks, because we have to do so many different variety tasks, and one that often we don't like is business development and admin. So my thinking was always been, we are people, we are in front, but why can we not have cogs to run 24/7 in the background, right, constantly, without or with a little input from ourselves, So that's where I got into the automation, right? So that's the top, if I had to pick the three top tips, for sure, it's, well, first of all, get on it, because it saves you a lot of time, and we got so many clients, big clients, with big mandates, just by running automated cold email outreach campaigns, right? It's just running by itself. I get meetings booked into the calendar automatically of people that want to talk to me because of these emails that are going automatically, right? We contacted, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 people in the last 2 years throughout these automated campaigns, and a lot has come out. And be it now, people follow up after a year. They're like, "Hey, you remember we just exchanged emails? I didn't need anyone, but let's jump in a call. I need support now," right? So definitely get on it. It looks like it's a lot to do. It looks scary, the softwares, but it's super easy, and I think it is the future, especially when you're a small business. You need to innovate and automate, right? Because if you want to grow, you can do so much in the day, right? So anyway, top tip, get on it for sure, and second tip, don't be afraid of how it looks and how scary or technically it looks, but it's easy to get it done. Yes.
It can be, I think, can feel and seem a bit overwhelming when you're at the very beginning and you look at it and think, okay, so I have to get this, I have to be the quality of the list. What about what goes out, and is it personalized? I think there's a lot in. I mean, we had your presentation at one of the Swiss recruitment startup sessions and going through that. I find it fascinating. I think there's a lot that's going to happen that will free up our time to do other things. And as you say, when you're in your small company, there's only so much you can do. And if you can automate some of the things that you maybe don't enjoy as much, or that you need to invest a lot of time into, I think it can only help for sure.
Exactly, and of course, I mean, the last tip probably is quality. Just check the quality and check that the names are correct and the company names are correct. That's important, because it can backfire 100%. Yeah.
Especially on the Swiss market, quality is king. So it has to be done in that way. So there always needs to be that kind of personalization and kind of quality check or quality controls within that as well.
Exactly.
So Sophia said to your comment before answering the question about what you're most thankful for, that's inspiring, what you shared about your friends and helping you to succeed.
Thank
and
you.
We have a question come in, I think, from Misha. Let me just bring this one. What was your toughest decision during your career, and how did you come to the conclusion of the decision?
Good question. The toughest decision. I mean, in the business now, we had to drop some clients. We had to drop some clients because it happens that you work for many months in a search, but the client is not committed. And in the beginning, you just take anything that comes in. So one of the toughest decisions was to drop one pretty big client in the beginning that it just didn't work. We put a lot of work into it, invest a lot of money in the end and time, and nothing came in. They were not ready to hire in the end of the day. So that was a tough decision for sure. And if you look at the past again, opening my business was definitely a tough decision. If I look back, it didn't feel like it was a tough decision. At the moment, it felt like it was the right thing to do, but looking back, it's really tough. Yeah. And how did I come to the conclusion of that? As I said, I always try to sit down and take some time, especially during the weekends, or go away a bit, or go on the bike. I'm out 6, 7, 8, 10 hours on the bike, and there you think about things, and I always try to, there's my day to day. I always try to give a bit of time there when I run, when I do my sports, to disconnect and to see a bigger picture. And that's how I always feel that I come to the right conclusion, or to thinking of that, really disconnecting from the day to day, fully disconnecting from that, and refocusing and seeing the bigger picture. That's probably what helps. And be it going for a hike, going on a bike, or whatever helps you. But I think that is key when you run your own business.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you, taking that moment away and space to give yourself the opportunity to think and reflect. And yeah, Misha, thanks for the question.
Thank you.
We're coming slowly to the end of the session. I guess I'd like to ask you one more question from my side. I always like to ask people about this as well. With all this talk of automation, AI, chat, and there will be, I think, a lot of things that do get automated within recruitment. Where do you see the future of recruitment agencies? Are we doomed?
Yes, very good. No. Very, very good question. I was actually listening to a podcast. I listened to the Brazilian Recruiter, Spotify. Great podcast there. And there was one podcast in regards to similar question, but really where I see. So there are two ways, I really see the agencies, especially in the UK, the UK typical agency, let's say, that is just a CV sending machine. That I see, I don't see that as lasting for many more years, simply because that now can be done by machines. 110% that can be done by machines. They can scrape job boards, they can send CVs that you have in the database. Where I see the future of recruitment agencies, and where we should all be moving into, is what can be done by machine. I think we should not try to fight that. There are many things that already can be done by machines, right? But where we add value is we work in a people business, and where we add value, it's us as people, right? So the way I see it is really the strength for a recruitment owner, for recruitment to stay in business, is really to be able to go out and build up strong relationship with the client, you know, with the candidates, really become partners to our clients, you know, become inspiring partners, becoming part of the client business, and bring that added value that, you know, just sending us CVs maybe does bring some value, obviously, if the candidate is hired, but really, again, that can be done by machine at one point, right? So really being able to build up this really strong relationship with our clients and with our candidates as well. That's where I see the future recruitment agency. And I feel like if you want to be successful in the future and if you want to survive, I think that's where you have to move into, being really aspiring partner, consultant, trusted advisor to the clients and to the candidates, right? So really using that people to people part,
the human element,
is key, right? Yes.
Yeah. Love it. I think that absolutely, I think summarizes a big part of what we do and why machines won't be able to replace us. So, hey,
exactly.
Mirko, with that, I mean, I think that's a fantastic point to finish on. I want to say thank you to everybody for all of your comments, to Sophia, Misha, everybody, Evelyn, everyone who added a comment, made a like. It's been awesome hosting this session. Thank you, Mirko, for sharing your story and letting us have a little look inside your world. Really enjoyed it. Hope you too. How was it for you?
Very good. Thanks, Lee, again for having me. You know, it's been great. Now, you know, like it's cool to think, you know, and to go a bit deeper and, you know, share the thought. And, you know, again, you know, for me, it's hopefully people will learn from this and take away their learnings, you know, negative, positive, however they feel like. But I always feel like it's important to share, right?
Absolutely.
What we have done and where we have been, and that everyone struggles at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely. I'm sure, you know, there's people coming in. Manuel, a great episode. Sakti, Misha, Evelyn, everybody. Rene, thank you so much, everyone. And Brina, thanks everyone for being on, for watching. I need to work out. There we go. So with that, I wish everybody a fantastic, wonderful weekend. In Switzerland, we have a long weekend, so enjoy it. Enjoy the sunshine. Mirko, it's been a pleasure, and we see each other soon.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.